I'll end your misery.
While Dragon Quest is one of the most beloved JRPG series ever, I have a soft spot for the spin-offs. Ever since Tornico, The Last Hope, I've always made time for the side adventures told across various genres. However, in recent years, it seems the development team has been focusing on getting Western fans acquainted with the character Dai. While he first appeared in media during the late 80s, we've been seeing a lot more of him lately in the West, thanks to a mobile game, anime adaptation, and manga. However, Dai fever won't end there. After the reveal of the mouthful of a title, Infinity Strash, Dragon Quest The Adventures of Dai, it seems fans of the series will be seeing a lot more of this young warrior. I was able to play an early build of the game to understand what kind of experience awaits fans. Thankfully, I'm here to report that there's an interesting action experience to discover here, complete with narrative-heavy story segments and challenging boss fights. Infinity Strash, Dragon Quest The Adventures of Dai follows the events of the anime rather closely and immediately acts as an introduction to all things Dai. Campaign events are mission-based where players can progress the story by selecting a mission from a map, which is then accompanied by a story scene that fills you in on what you're fighting against. But before heading into a mission, you're able to customize the loadout of each party member available. Aside from base equipments, one of the more interesting aspects revolves around bond memories, which are moments of the story depicted as equipable emblems that boost your base stats. This allows you to equip memories that fit your playstyle to add additional abilities or even boost loot gained after a fight. There are plenty to choose from and are acquired throughout the main campaign and the Temple of Recollection, which we'll get into shortly. I should point out that there's an abundance of voice-acted cutscenes. These scenes take place before and after the selected missions and provide context to the situation, but I will say that you won't be too surprised if you already know this story. I can see these scenes acting as a way to bring new fans to the greatness of this character, which I feel wasn't fully capitalized on in the mobile game A Hero's Bonds. But don't worry, these are two completely different games. When on a mission, you'll face off against waves of enemies or a boss in an arena-like battlefield. I was able to play as Dai, Pop, and Mam, who each have completely different fighting styles. I was surprised by how varied each character is, and you're able to switch to them at any point during a fight. The AI actions are decent, but I'm hoping to find ways to customize their attacks and healing frequency. One of the more difficult fights allowed me to only play as Dai, which was fairly challenging. The action systems are pretty straightforward. The basic combo and ability gauges are commonplace for these types of games, which makes me feel like this is more geared towards anime fans who might not be also fans of action titles. However, that said, I found the opponents to be challenging as you must avoid their attacks and plan out when to follow up with a counter. Strangely, although there is a slowdown effect and invincible frames added when you get a perfect dodge, there was no follow-up counter that I could execute. Perfect dodging felt very satisfying, and a counter feature would have only made that more enjoyable. The action extends into the Temple of Recollection, which is a roguelike dungeon where players begin at level 1 and must clear rooms of enemies, choose the next room, and then fight a boss at the end of a series of rooms. Rewards are dependent on the rooms you choose, but the best ones dish out treasure or needed healing items. Sadly, if you die, you can potentially lose it all, and although you can leave after a certain milestone, you're encouraged to continue. Interestingly, this is connected in some ways to the main campaign, as the equipment collected will help you with some of the tougher story battles. Further, the bond memories found within the Temple of Recollection are definitely more powerful than the ones you may find in the campaign. However, levels and experience don't get carried over, so this isn't the place to level grind. Infinity Strash, Dragon Quest The Adventure of Dai is a promising action game where players can look forward to experiencing some pretty epic fights. Non-gaming fans can enjoy their heroic narrative through some challenging battles and low-barrier action, while genre enthusiasts can look forward to their new favorite Dragon Quest spin-off experience. I'm hoping to see deeper available actions during combat, but from what I played, this may be Dai's biggest adventure yet. Infinity Strash, Dragon Quest The Adventure of Dai is coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC on September 28th, 2023. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers providing independent gaming coverage through news, reviews, previews, and more. Check out our Patreon to help support our continued growth, and subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Moisy Pixel.